Hi, my name's Jordan, and I want to talk about some games. Recently, I've been thinking a lot about the 7 out of 10 games, and I say that because I've been playing a lot of games that would have been labeled as a 7 out of 10. People will say, oh, it has its ups, but it's also got some downs, and it really holds the game back. And to an extent, I agree. However, I think the 7 out of 10 is deceptive. I don't think they give you a clear indicator of what it is actually the game has to offer. And I thought, man, I really want to talk about that. They've kind of became some of my favorite games. I'm excluding like Crimson Desert and Battlefield 6, stuff like that. Looking back at my catalog and things that I've recently played, it's a lot of what would be called a 7 out of 10. And I thought, let me talk about them. I'm going to talk about all of them. I'm going to start a whole series for it. This is the first one. I'm talking about Evil West. What a game. What a game. So Evil West is a third-person action shooter brawler. And people have made this comparison, and I don't completely agree with it, but it's like God of War with guns. Sort of. It's a Western where you beat the shit out of people with your fists. And you got some guns. It's pretty interesting. You fight a lot of vampires. And one of my gripes is the vampires don't really look like vampires. They look kind of just weird. Like a homunculus or something. I don't know. However, they do look cool, but as soon as you put the vampire tag on it, I don't know. It kind of looks a little different. I have played through it 3 separate times. When it first came out, I played it with my brother. Most recently, I played it with my girlfriend because we were looking for a co-op game. And then the third time was so I could platinum the game. I wanted all the trophies. I wanted them all. I felt like the gameplay loop was addicting enough. The combos, the melee, the guns, everything together kept me in the game. And I never disliked it. While I did have some issues when the game first came out, specifically with playing it with my brother, we would get disconnected all the time. We would freeze. One person would freeze, the other person was fine. It made it kind of difficult to play. They did update it, and since then, my most recent playthrough with my girlfriend, we had a couple of problems, but nothing near like how it was when it first came out. So that's a plus. I give them a pass. It's a small studio. The combat is by far the best part of the game. It starts off where you're kind of holding your own, but it's a little difficult, and it gives you just enough stuff consistently throughout that by the end of the game, not even the end of your first playthrough, but by like the time you finish the game, if you platinum it, you have all the perks, you have all the upgrades. It's pretty great. But even then, they feed you just enough throughout the game in your first playthrough to keep you interested, to keep the combat fun, visceral, lots of gore. A lot of the level design, I really like. It's a very linear game. So there's not a lot of verticality. There's not a lot of off-the-path routes unless you're looking for collectibles, which there are plenty of them in this game to include weapon upgrades, perks, and new customization options for your character, how they look. Outside of that, it's pretty much a start-to-finish game. And that's good. We have multi-100-hour RPGs. You need something to take a break. The level design, I enjoyed. There are a lot of levels that look really nice, especially the one where you fight the Birch. That map's great. The moon, the fire, putting like a red backdrop on everything. It's gorgeous. It's probably my favorite looking level in the entire game. The boss fights, I think, are a ton of fun. I enjoyed them throughout. Every single time I played through them again, I had a good time. There were not any bosses that I thought were aggravating, that I thought were like, wow, this feels incredibly unfair that I lost here. Anytime I died, I definitely thought, that's fair. Yeah, I get it. However, by the time you learn the combat, the more you play it, you figure it out, you do end up going through fights where you just don't get hit. You're in the flow state. You're bouncing, you're dodging, you're evading, you're countering attacks, weaving in your guns, grenades, dynamite, all that. You get a tornado grenade. It's awesome. It's the coolest thing in the game. One of the main driving forces of the game is the gauntlet that you get. It enables your character to do special like electrical melee abilities. It's the lifeblood of the game. You can use it to zap 2 people, pull them to you, you pull them to you, then you uppercut them, you jump up, and then you hit them again and they fly into an explosive barrel. It's great. The more you play the game, the more perks, upgrades you unlock. You start weaving in some pretty amazing combos. It's very satisfying, especially after you beat a boss or an encounter or a mini boss section or something. You hear a bullet being shot, and it's like, ting. I'll put the clip in there. It's very satisfying. I like it. The story is not that great. And honestly, this is the kind of game that I play because I don't care about the story. Like, I just want to have a good time. I want to beat the shit out of people. So if it doesn't have a great story, it doesn't really bother me much. I think the characters, for the most part, are pretty forgettable. The only reason I remember them is because I've played it 3 times. So the first time I played it, I couldn't tell you if I remembered anybody's name. Except Harlow. Jackass. That guy's super annoying. He's so annoying. He's mad and he's yelling all the time. But that's besides the point. Other than that, character's kind of forgettable. Your main guy, he's kind of, I don't know, a one-note kind of guy. He's got some good one-liners, some good things that got a chuckle out of me. So like, it's not all terrible. It's just, there's a little bit more that you would want from the story. But again, this is just a chill kind of game. So it's like, at least for me, like I said, I'm not going in there expecting the best story I've ever seen in a game. I just want to have a good time. I want to know that the game feels good. And it does. I don't really have any big negatives. The only one that I have, and it's not even directed at the game, it's directed at the fact that we don't know if we're getting a sequel for it. Flying Wild Horses did put out a job listing for a third-person action game, and it says it was supposed to be fast-paced. That could be it, but it said new and ambitious. So to me, if it says new, I'm thinking like maybe a new IP. However, new's new. I'll hope it gets a sequel. It's one of those games where you're snuffing out all the potential that it has because the first game wasn't a 10 out of 10. We wouldn't have gotten some of the best games of all time, like Halos, the Uncharted games. I'd say the Sly Cooper game, but there's no more new ones. But you wouldn't have gotten those amazing franchises if you would have stopped at the first game. Because think about it. It might have been fun when it came out, but if you compared it to some other games, a lot of them, they were kind of a 7 out of 10. And again, I use that term loosely. But that's what they were. So without Uncharted 1, we would have never gotten Uncharted 2. And then 3, and then 4, which I love. I got a sick Parvis Magna tattoo on my arm here. I just don't want to see wasted potential with what I think was a really good first game. I would want a sequel. It would really hurt if we didn't get it. I had a great time with it. I think it's fun. And it's only 12, 13 hours long, maybe. Again, I was doing everything, so I was looking around and shit. So my playtime was a little longer. Well, we made it to the end. I hope maybe it interested you a little bit. Maybe enough to pick it up. If you do pick it up based on, people's consumer habits, you could wait for a sale. No issue in that at all. It was on PlayStation Plus. It still could be on there. But if it is on there and it's free, pick it up. Pick it up. The worst thing that'll happen is you just delete it after a little bit if you don't like it. I do want to say thank you very much. This is my first video where I'm trying out the green screen and the lighting setup and everything. And I'm hoping it's going to be good. If it's not, I'm going to post it. I just want to get that first one out of the way. But I do plan on getting a little better, trying out new things, learning new stuff. This is my first time. It's my first time. But I think for the next video, I'll do RoboCop. I really want to talk about that game with some people, especially that and the Unfinished Business DLC expansion thing that came out. It's also pretty good. So I'll be working on that one next. I hope you had a good time. Glad you stopped by. And I hope to see you again. All right, have a good night.